Okay, so if you haven't seen part 1 to this video, I definitely recommend that you check it out so you will know where we are in the story. Also, be sure to check out the description for some other YouTube videos that I definitely recommend that you guys check out and watch. Some of them are some small channels, so please support them as much as possible. I'll put the same videos that I had in the last description in this one. So yeah, like I said, be sure to check them out, support them as much as possible. So funny story, I actually filmed that video on Friday after I finished writing and editing that video. I finished writing the script for Spider-Man Home Run. So hopefully in this video I will finish talking about it, and this is probably going to be a pretty lengthy video and it's not going to have any footage in it. So yeah. Alright, so picking up where we left off, in the last video I said they're rebuilding the Death Star, but they actually rebuilt that in Homecoming. So let's just say they're making another model or something. Alright, so piggybacking off of what I said in the last video that I couldn't remember, we get a scene of Peter's apartment getting searched. We get a cameo from Captain Stacy saying he's sorry for all the trouble that they may have caused. Peter saying that he doesn't want his suit back and that he just wants to live a normal life. Alright, so officially starting now, we start back with J. Jonah Jameson bashing Spider-Man, saying even if Peter Parker isn't Spider-Man, he's still a menace. Peter turns off the TV saying well-deserved me time. After a few days of spending time together with Aunt May, MJ, and Ed, we get a moment of Peter and MJ together in his apartment as she jokingly asks him how he got his superpowers. Peter tries to laugh it off, but then responds to her anyway by saying, I was bitten by a spider. We then get some cute back and forth banter between them as Peter's phone begins to ring. Peter answers to hear Happy screaming as Kraven punches him, saying, come out of hiding, little spider. Peter nervously asking, who is this? Kraven then responds by saying, if you want to see your friend alive again, come to this address. Kraven sends the address to Peter as MJ asks him what's wrong. Peter jumps up, rushing to his room, going to his little attic thing, getting his homemade suit. Basically that thing that Tony did in Civil War, yeah, that with the stick thing, basically that. Peter puts on his suit, rushing to the window, telling MJ to stay inside and that May will be back soon. MJ stops Peter right before he leaves, saying, go get him, Tiger. Peter nods at her as he jumps out the window, swinging off. MJ hears a knock at the door, but it's Aunt May saying that she needs help because she's carrying some heavy bags. MJ, hesitating at first, then walking to the door to see Mac Gargan holding a gun to Aunt May's head. Max saying, let's go for a ride, shall we? As his scorpion tail wraps around her as she screams. Peter swings to the abandoned location, calling out for Happy as he steps on a mine. We then get some slow motion shots of Peter dodging poison darts, and he shoots some webs at it, causing them to stop. Kraven emerges from the shadows saying, you're a good little spider, but your instincts will only get you so far. Peter questions Kraven, who are you? Why are you doing this? Kraven shouting, call me Kraven the Hunter, using his vibranium machete, running towards Peter. Peter dodging all of his attacks, trying to reason with him. Tell me what you want, maybe I can help you, Peter says. Kraven hesitates, saying, you can't help me. Peter, now getting irritated with this entire situation, calls Kraven a discount Tarzan, punching him as he falls to the ground. It's kind of a nod to the Spider-Man Kraven fight in the Ultimate Comics that Brian Michael Bendis did. If you've never read that comic, I definitely recommend that you check it out. I think the issue is called The Ultimate Hunt or something like that. I don't remember. I'll put it in the description when I'm editing this video. So yeah, Peter tries to reason with Kraven, saying that I've been fighting bad guys long enough to know when someone's fighting for someone they love. Kraven looks at Peter, noticing there is some good in him. Kraven just openly tells him that he's gonna kill my daughter. Peter tells Kraven that you gotta work with me. I promise I'll do whatever I can to help her, but you just have to tell me who he is. Peter's spider sense begins to go off as a long green tail hits him, causing him to fly back, as Mac in his scorpion suit stabs Kraven in the chest, killing him. Peter shouts Kraven's name as Mac says, I knew you'd fail me. I'll do it myself. A light turns on as Peter notices MJ, Happy, and Aunt May dangling over a pit of acid. Scorpion lunges towards Peter as he tries to dodge his hits. Scorpion, using his sharp claws, cuts Peter in the chest, letting his guard down as his scorpion tail stabs Peter in the back, injecting him with poison. Peter, slowly walking backwards, falls, hitting the ground as the environment around him just goes dark as he falls into an abyss. Basically playing off of the illusion scene with the last film, but trippier. So I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can, so please work with me here. Peter sees a big spider biting a hand as Peter falls into the abyss again. We hear a voice saying, catch the ball, kiddo. Peter sees a kid, him playing catch with a man. Uncle Ben, he says as he falls deeper into the abyss as he hears a gunshot. Peter screams Uncle Ben's name as he falls, noticing Tony Stark when he recruited him to fight against Captain America. Peter falls again, noticing Tony's lifeless body after the snap. Peter falls into the arms of a zombified Uncle Ben, saying, such a disappointment. He shouts as he punches him. Peter falls into the arms of a zombified Tony Stark, saying, you're a failure, as he shouts out, holding his hand, blasting him, causing Peter to wake up. Peter wakes up to Scorpion choking him with his tail as he removes his face mask, then pulling off Peter's mask. Scorpion looks at Peter as his breath begins to weaken, saying, "My daughter died all because you wanted to impress someone who never gave a damn about anyone but himself," as he tightens his grip. Then gunfire begins to shoot through the window, sending Scorpion flying across the room. Peter notices a white jet before passing out. Peter awakens to a small cabin in the woods, basically Tony's house from Avengers Endgame. Pepper saved them, by the way. I know that Gwyneth Paltrow kind of left the role of Pepper Potts, but work with me here. Aunt May hugs Peter as MJ pours peroxide on his wounds. A few moments later, Peter goes outside to look at the stars when a little girl comes up behind him, giving him an ice pack, saying he looks like shit. Peter laughs, saying, "Let me guess, you learned that word from your father." Pepper interrupts them, telling Morgan it's time to go to bed. Peter offers to tuck her in and read her a bedtime story. Peter leaves the room, meeting Pepper Potts officially for the first time. Pepper says, "Tony talked a lot about you." Peter laughs, saying, "He was my idol. I always wanted to be like him." Pepper responds by saying, "He always wanted you to be greater. He always wanted you to be greater than him. He wanted you to be yourself. Be your own hero." MJ walks in, telling them that they need to see something, as Peter looks at the TV, noticing Scorpion holding Betty, Flash, and Brad hostage on a rooftop. Peter says that he needs to go save them as Aunt May tries to stop him. Peter responds by telling her, "No, I have to. Ben told me something before he died. Words that I didn't understand until now. With great power comes great responsibility." Happy looks proudly at Peter, but Peter realizes that he doesn't have another costume. Peter asks Pepper if she has some materials that he could use. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's Tony Stark tech making the suit, but this is the only way the suit could be made. Peter doesn't have time to sew together an entire costume before jumping into battle. So, this is the only way the suit could be made. We then cut back to the city where the other students are basically arguing with Flash about his hero not coming to save them. The white jet from earlier arrives near the newly built building that was Avengers Tower, and it may become something special. I'll tell you guys about that later. MJ throws Peter his mask that she sewed together, by the way, saying, "Come back." Peter promises, kissing MJ as Happy says, "Go get him, Spider-Man." Peter puts on his mask, jumping out the back of the plane, swinging through the city in a new red and blue suit, shouting Scorpion's name as he throws all three students off the building. Peter moves as quickly as he can, saving Betty first and then saving Flash, saying to himself, "Don't screw this up," as he shoots multiple webs to the ground, catching Brad. Peter makes sure that everyone is alright, with Flash saying that he never doubted Spider-Man, as Peter swings off, dashing to the rooftop where his final battle with Scorpion will begin. Mac then teases him by saying, "Nice suit, Parker." Peter slowly walking towards him, telling him that he's sorry for what happened to his daughter. He looks at him and then shouts, "It's too late for sorries." Mac, using nanotech, puts on his face mask, swinging his tail at Peter as he tries to hold back his stinger from stabbing him again. Scorpion bashes Peter to the ground twice, flinging him off the building. Peter shoots a web at his chest, causing him to fall with him, but Scorpion uses his tail to stop him from falling, as the two fight on the side of the building, kind of like the Doc Ock boss battle at the end of the PS4 game. Scorpion uses his tail, wrapping it around Peter's neck, slamming him into the wall, then stabbing him in the shoulder as the blade goes through the wall. Peter begins to scream as his arm drips blood. Scorpion shouts at him, saying, "You don't have any right to call yourself an Avenger," punching him in the face multiple times as he blacks out. We then get Uncle Ben saying, "Peter, I know it feels like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, but you're becoming a man, and all men have a responsibility. What you choose to do with it is your power and your gift, and with that great power comes a great deal of responsibility." Peter falls, hearing Tony Stark. "If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it." Peter falls again, hearing Ned. "We're counting on you." Peter falls, hearing MJ. "Go get him, Tiger." Peter falls, hearing Pepper. "Be your own hero." Peter falls, hearing Happy. "Go get him, Spider-Man." Peter falls one last time, hearing Aunt May saying, "Peter, it's time to wake up." Peter snaps out of it, pushing the blade out of his shoulder slowly. "Come on, Peter. Come on, Spider-Man," as he screams, pushing the blade out slowly, punching Scorpion hard in the face, knocking him off his balance. The two stare at each other in rage, charging towards each other as Peter gets the upper hand, breaking his suit apart when his spider sense begins to go off, warning Mac that his suit is about to explode. Mac shouts that he doesn't give a damn, swinging his tail at him again, but Peter tries to warn him again as his suit begins to spark electricity, shocking him as he begins to fall off the building. Peter jumps after him as he falls on the 10th-story balcony. Peter pulling off his mask, doing CPR, saying, "Come on, Mac, don't go." A few moments later, the police arriving, noticing Mac tied up in webs with a note. Another supervillain stopped by your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, as Peter looks down from the building with his mask off. A few days later, Peter asks about Craven's daughter. Happy says that he made a few favors. We then get a cameo of Shuri helping her. Happy asks Peter if he wants his suit back, and Peter looks at the ground saying, "I just want to stay a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man for a while. I'm thankful for everything that Mr. Stark has done, but since my identity is safe now, I'd rather stay to the ground." Police sirens go off in the distance as Peter looks at Happy saying, "I gotta go." Happy looks proudly at him saying, "Go get him, Spider-Man." Peter jumps out the window as we transition to see one final swing. Hopefully not his final swing in the MCU, but one final swing. We then cut to J. Jonah Jameson saying that regardless if Spider-Man saved the city, he's not buying that Peter is Spider-Man and that he had to question people personally. We then get a montage of him basically asking Flash, MJ, Ned, do they think he's Spider-Man, and they all debunk the theory. Jonah says that there is a small chance that he's Spider-Man as he signs off from his podcast, as a web shoots him in his hand, causing him to stick to the desk. Spider-Man taunts Jonah from the window, saying, "I'm tired of you talking trash about me, Baldy," taunting him one more time, saying that he loves the podcast, and that the webbing is going to dissolve in about 2 hours, as he laughs as he swings away. A moment of silence comes over Jameson as he says, "What the fuck?" And that was it, ladies and gentlemen. That was Spider-Man Home Run. I hope you guys really enjoyed that one. It was so much fun to make, just throwing stuff out there of what I wanted the next film to be. I hope the MCU does take one or two things from it and actually incorporate it into the movie, since Kevin Feige did say that this is going to be a film all about Peter Parker, and I actually really want to see that because, you know, a lot of people have been missing the Spider-Man that we were promised in Civil War, and I feel like we're going to get that in the third film, and I hope that we do so everybody can love this character more as much as I do. So I hope you guys really did enjoy that. Remember to check out the description. There's going to be some other YouTubers videos that you need to check out as well. Please support their channels as much as possible. Also, Lewis Films did a video, Prewriting Spider-Man 3, that will also be in the description. Watch that video if you're an MCU Spider-Man fan. Sorry. If you are a MCU Spider-Man fan, you will love that video. Really good video. And definitely check out his channel. So earlier in the video, I said I was going to mention it later. So I'm already writing the 4th film. I know there's probably not going to be a 4th Spider-Man film, but if Thor can get a 4th movie, then Spider-Man can get a 4th movie. So it's called Spider-Man Home Sweet Home, to where we're going to focus on the Sinister Six. I got to talk about that after this as well. We're going to focus on the Sinister Six, but Chameleon's going to be the main villain, and he has proper motivation now to go after Spider-Man since Kraven's dead. But I'm going to spit more ideas out at you guys in the next video that I do. Probably not the next one, but whenever videos is going to come afterwards, I'm going to spit some more ideas out at you guys. And yeah, so I think that's about it. Oh yeah, I gotta talk about the end credit scene. So there is a mid-credit stinger. We get a cameo from Liz from the first Spider-Man movie, or Spider-Man Home Run, and then we get the Vulture. We get to see him again, and then it's revealed that Quentin Beck is not dead, and he's recruiting people for the Sinister Six, and he's recruiting Vulture first, and the Vulture's just like, I don't want any part in it. And Mr. Beck, or Quentin Beck, uses his drones and he points them at his family, saying, I don't think you really have a choice. And the next one is kind of like the end credit scene with Jonah still stuck to the desk as he asks for Betty's help. Obviously, Betty Brant, kind of poking fun at the Raimi films and what they did with J. Jonah Jameson and Betty Brant. So, kind of like that. So, that's what I remember. That is what I wrote, but that's what I remember. So that's Spider-Man Home Run all the way through. So I hope you guys really did enjoy this video. It would really mean a lot to me if you would leave a like and subscribe to show me that you want to see more fan stuff like this in the future, because I do write a lot of stuff when I'm not editing videos or filming videos. And if you guys want to see my Spider-Man show that I've written titled Marvel Spider-Man, just let me know down in the comments or on my Instagram. It will also be in the description. So this video is getting pretty long, so I do appreciate you guys watching this video if you made it all the way to this point. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really means a lot to me, and I will see you next time. This has been the Web Warrior, signing off.